Welcome to Helios Education's third Python for Kids lesson. Today, we're going to be talking about expressions. So, let's talk about numeric expressions. So, I'm assuming we all have a very low math background, or at least medium, and we know what addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and powers are. So most computer keyboards don't have all the mathematical symbols that are required by programmers. So we need to create special symbols with meaning that correlate to our mathematical symbols that we use on paper or in our daily life. So addition is the plus sign, subtraction is the minus sign, multiplication is the asterisk, division is the slash, power is this little triangle thing that you'll find on the button for 6, and remainder is a percent sign. So this percent sign is actually not called a percent sign in programming. This is referred to as the modulus operator. So this modulus operator is something very special that most of you probably have not seen before. So here I have a little sample code segment for you. Let's say we have a variable named JJ and we set it to 23. JJ is now 23. And when we perform an operation on JJ and we assign the result to KK, JJ mod 5 is equal to KK, and then we're going to print KK, and this yields 3. So why is that? So essentially what we're saying here is KK is going to be equal to 23 mod 5. So the modulus operator is for remainder. So basically what this statement is asking you is, what is the remainder if I divide 23 into 5 parts? And let's do that manually. So let's say I divide 23 or 20 into 5 parts, and each part has 4 in them. 5 times 4 is 20. Now we know that a multiple of 20 is 5 and 4, but we need 23. So if we add 3 to 20, we obtain 23 as our result, which is why 3 is the remainder of dividing 23 by 5. So another very important thing when it comes to numerical expressions is BEDMAS, or as some other people might know it, PEDMAS. So order of operations is what to do first. So in order of operations, we go in this order: brackets, exponents, multiplication, division, remainder in order of appearance, and then lastly, addition and subtraction in order of appearance. So before we go any deeper into any calculations, let's clarify what each of these operations mean. This operation, just like in real life, is the plus sign. This operation corresponds to this little hat thingy, meaning power. This is the division sign. And this asterisk is multiplication. So let's copy down our expression together. We have x is equal to 1 plus 2 to the power of 3 divided by 4 times 5. So we know, going back to BEDMAS, we do exponents first. So we know x is also equivalent to 1 plus 8 divided by 4 times 5. Now we know that we do the multiplication and division in order of appearance. So let's go. 1 plus 2 times 5 is equivalent to 1 plus 10, which is 11. And we can see our program returns 11.0, which is technically more precise to the computer, and our answer is correct. However, as we can see here, remember, we're just talking about numerical operations. Type matters. Your type of your variable matters. So you cannot add an integer and a string. However, remember, we can add strings and characters. Let's take an example of that, where let's say we have one string called Jennifer, and our other string is going to be called Mariana. If I wanted to do a very basic print function, now this print function basically outputs your result, as you can see it did here. Print, I can do x plus y, and this will give me the result, Jennifer Mariana. Yeah? However, remember, if you tried to add 1 and Jennifer together, this would be invalid and the computer would be not happy. So now let's talk a little bit more about type. If you have, let's say we have a variable sval, and we can see that even though this has single quotations, which we know usually would mean character, we have multiple different characters together. That means that this is a string. The type function is another function just like print, except it doesn't print out a value. Instead, it tells us what type our variable is. So inside the type function, if we put sval, the output that we receive is the type of sval. Now, similarly, let's say we took sval and we were like, and when I want to add the number 1 to sval, I can't have sval being a string because we know from the last slide that that's going to give us an error. So what I have to do here is let me take ival and let me convert sval into an integer. And I'm going to take my integer value, ival, and I'm going to type it. And the answer that I get is a string. Why? Because this int in brackets with sval inside converted sval to int. This int bracket converts strings to integers, which is very useful when we want to perform mathematical operations, but our number is in a string form. So now let's talk about user input. Now, this is actually my favorite part of coding and programming in general, because this is where you get to interact with your computer. Python has the really cool ability to use your input, words, to output or print a certain statement or statements. The input function lets Python read your input as a string. Let's say we have a variable nam. We have this input function. This lets us write something in Python. So we have nam, and we have this function, bracket, who are you? So when we run this on our computers, what's going to happen is Python is going to say, who are you? They're going to say that, and it's going to give you a space to type. What's my name? Let's say my name is Helios. I put that in, and the word Helios goes into the variable nam. So when I put in my input, nam is equal to the string Helios. Then the computer is going to print welcome, comma, which puts a space in between the two, nam. Now, why are there no quotation marks beside nam? That's because nam is not a string. No, nam is a variable name, and this variable name has special meaning to Python. In the place of nam, writing nam is equivalent to writing Helios. In this case, beside who are you, we put Chuck, and the output was welcome Chuck. Cool, isn't it? Thanks a lot for tuning in, and don't forget to listen to our next lesson. Bye.